Hello everyone. I noticed that there is no good video on how to do a Miyoo Mini screen replacement, so I decided to document how I did the replacement of mine. As you can see here in the bottom right corner, my Miyoo Mini started to develop a delamination problem. It has been growing over time. This is as much as it grew over the last couple of months, and I decided to purchase a new screen and to replace it before it starts to make it uncomfortable to play. I purchased my screen from the official Miyoo Mini store. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can purchase one also if you need to replace yours. You need to start by unscrewing the screws in the four corners of your Miyoo Mini's back cover. Once you are finished, remove the battery cover and also remove your microSD card. Next, you need to unplug your battery. Once finished, you need to unscrew the two additional screws which are located under the battery. Next, you need to lift the back cover. Now we will be removing the ribbon cable that connects your display to your motherboard. It's located here in the top left corner. Gently pry the tape which is covering the display cable. Do not use anything made out of iron because you can damage your motherboard. If you have a plastic pry tool, you can use one, otherwise just use your nail. Next, we need to open the plastic lock, which is keeping the display cable in place. This is pretty easy. You either use again a plastic pry tool or ideally maybe your nail, because I found out this to be the easiest way to do it. The tactile response once you open the lock could easily be missed, so keep checking to see if the iron pins as shown on the picture are already revealed. They get revealed once you have actually opened the lock. Next, you unplug the display cable from the connector, and then you will be lifting the motherboard. When you're lifting the motherboard, start from the left hand side, the one with the USB-C port, because the right hand side has the volume wheel which is locked into its hole. If you start lifting from the right hand side, you might damage it. Next, you need to take out all the buttons. My suggestion is to have a small box or a container where you can put them, not to look for them afterwards, because they are easy to displace. Once you have finished removing all the buttons, it's time to use a blow dryer to heat up the top rear side of the screen. There is a little bit of adhesive there, so increasing the temperature would make it easy to remove the screen. After you have used the blow dryer for a few minutes, it should be warm enough to loosen the adhesive, so it is time to remove the screen. I was lucky enough to have a suction cup like the one that you can see, and this made it easier, but I'm confident that you should be able to do this also just with your finger using the hole in the back that reveals the rear side of the screen. I also warmly recommend to you to use a little bit less force than what you saw in the video, because I think that applying a little bit more moderate force would protect the case, and eventually if you are removing a screen that you plan to reuse, that would help keep it intact. Now it's time to open and to place the new screen into the front case. Mine was purchased from the AliExpress official Miyoo mini store, but you can source yours from eBay or from other places. Placing the screen into the front cover is very easy. You just need to slide it into the bottom, there where it fits under the case, and you also need to remove the tape protecting the adhesive at the top of the screen. Of course, also make sure that the display ribbon cable is inserted into the rear of the case rather than staying outside in the front. Once you slide the screen in place, push it gently around all the corners, all the edges, to make sure that it actually sticks and stays there well. It's time to reassemble the Miyoo Mini. First, place all the buttons. I will not be showing all of them because it is pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you don't lose any of them during disassembling. I don't know what will be your case, but my replacement brand new screen did not have a tape to cover the ribbon cable once it is attached, so I had to reuse the old tape that was from my old malfunctioning screen. Once we have placed all the buttons, place also the clickers for the D-pad and also the A, B, X and Y buttons, because they have their clickers separate from the motherboard, unlike the rest of the buttons. It is time to place the motherboard back into the front case. Remember, the volume wheel, it needs to be inserted into its hole so that you avoid damaging the motherboard or the wheel during the placement process. It should be pretty easy to slide it into place. Next, insert the display ribbon cable into the connector and remember to close the small black lock that keeps it into place nice and tight during your daily use. It's time to place the back cover. It's pretty easy to slide it into place, and once you are done, just check from all sides to be sure that there are no gaps and that it is fit tightly. As you can see, I'm also checking the buttons just to be sure that nothing shifted out of place during the last few steps, and I'm confirming that all of them are clicking as expected. Now just screw all the 6 screws that you had unscrewed in the very beginning of the process. Again, I'm not going to show all of them because this is a pretty straightforward thing to do. My only recommendation is to not tighten them too much until all 6 of them are in place. This is a good point in time to do a general check and to verify that everything is as it should be, all the buttons are clicking correctly still, and that there is nothing that's off. Alright, we are almost done. Now what's left is just to attach again the battery, place the battery cover and insert the microSD card. Time to turn on your Miyoo Mini and to do a final general test that everything is working fine, all the buttons, the sound, and that your new screen is actually working fine. Hopefully this guide was useful to you. Thanks for watching and have a good time playing.